everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Off Track TV. And good evening from the Weedsport Speedway production studios here at the Weedsport Speedway in Weedsport, New York. Now, you look at our forum here tonight, and you're probably wondering, did Dan and Shane multiply? Well, no, we didn't. Dan is actually on assignment this week, so we took the opportunity to bring in some very special guests here with us tonight, as it is a week before, actually a couple of days before the start of the 50th edition of Napa Auto Parts Super Dirt Week. We thought it would be appropriate to bring in a forum tonight to get their thoughts and views, not only on Dirt Week, but also the general state of modified and racing here in the Northeast. Joining me tonight here, we have Dean Reynolds, Director of Sanctioning for DIRTcar Northeast, the owner of Northeast Promotions and head of the track prep crew at Super Dirt Week, Jeremie Corcoran, and the co-owner of Dirt Track Digest, Mike Mallet. Gentlemen, first and foremost...
Whoa. Gentlemen, why are we starting with that?
I was going to say us three is a step down from one Dan.
I was trying to keep it nice, but all right. Guys, welcome. Great to have you here. Thanks for taking time to join us.
Thanks, Shane.
Thanks for being here.
I think
me and Jeremy have a lot of spare time, so we thought we'd join you.
Yeah, we thought maybe we could squeeze you guys out of Oswego for a little bit, and that's actually where we want to start tonight. I guess the first thing and foremost, after last year, we know what the conditions were like up there. We know what everybody had to work with. Let's get right to it. How's the track looking for this year?
How's the track looking this year?
It was perfect until they got 5, 6 inches.
Yeah, we got like 5 inches of rain on Tuesday. It was a lot of rain.
I actually I took a little video today and I sent it to Jeff and John. I actually walked around the racetrack this morning. It wasn't as bad as I thought. It held up pretty good.
I was on it yesterday.
Yeah. And there was some wet spots here and there. You take a screwdriver or a pry bar and stick it in here and there. So with the weather forecast being so nice, I just flipped the whole thing right over. I've been doing it since 8 o'clock this morning. I just got right off the disc and came here. So it's open right now. Let the air in and dry, and I'm going to roll it and disc it and roll it and grade it, the routine that I do.
How long have you been working on the track so far for everybody that really hasn't been paying attention?
It was right after they had the race. I don't know the date, that Sunday. Mm-hmm. We couldn't do it that week because I had something that goes on a Friday. We started it that following Wednesday. It took 14 hours to put it down with John and Larry's equipment. And then basically I've been on it on and off every day just about, because it'd rain, then it'd be nice, it'd rain. I'd go over there and check it out. And honestly, I think my mother was looking above us because a couple days it was pouring rain and the track wasn't sealed. And I got to Oswego and it never rained a drop.
Jan's a good woman.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So no, I mean that was beneficial to get it sealed, and we knew, with all this rain coming, it would get in a little bit, but there's none like last year. Last year it was just way too deep, and I came in late, tried saving it, and everybody, seeing what happened. But this year I got confidence that it's going to be 100% better.
Well, Dean, with Jeremie working on the track this year from start to finish, and the changes that have been made in the schedule this year for Super Dirt Week, we're not going to see all the cars on the track at during the day. Not everybody's going to see the track, so that should help with some of the track prep and the condition of the track, shouldn't it?
Well, we stumbled onto something back in 2019 when we had the rain on Saturday, and we ran everything at Saturday night, and we were like, this is a short track. I know we don't want to run at night in Oswego. The theory was because it can get cold. But you know what? Everyone's there. Everyone's there, and the fans stayed there. And we said, you know what? Let's just keep on moving times back. And then after last year, we talked to Jeremie shortly after, and we came up with a schedule, me and Jeff actually spearheaded it. And we fine-tuned it. And now we're not putting the car on the track until 2 p.m. every day. So the track crew's got extra time. And then we're also splitting up the events because, Weedsport and Brewerton moved up their satellites to Tuesday and Wednesday. So now we can do those heats on Thursday and Friday and just give it a break, give it a breather, give everybody from the teams to the officials to Jeremie, time to work. And then if we do get weather where it compounds and pushes a day where we have to flex the schedule, we're basically doubling things up, which we were doing anyways before. So we kind of already knew we were going to be in that situation, so we're ready for it.
Mike, you're in the pits every day up at Super Dirt Week, talking to the teams, seeing the teams thrashing on their cars and everything. Dean mentions that break. How important is it for those race teams to have?
I got to be honest, it's important for everybody. I mean, you know how it is when you go to Super Dirt Week. The time crunch, it's like go, and it feels like you're going from 8 in the morning till midnight every day. So this, will hopefully alleviate some of that feeling of going nonstop. Not for you, sorry, buddy. Like you're still going to go, but the rest of us, it gives you a little bit of break with everything starting later in the day. And let's be fair, everybody's there having a good time, so it gives you a couple chance to take a couple Tylenol in the morning. Maybe have a bottle of water and and do that. But I like it. I think the racing will be better at night. I mean, we know what happens when we run on dirt tracks in the daytime. It's a time-honored tradition of what happens.
Right. Yeah,
so I think moving everything back is definitely going to help, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out being at night.
Definitely. And, Jeremy, if you have those breaks in between, I'm sure that's something that you and your crew want to have to be able to evaluate what's going on and what can be changed or what can be done at that time.
Yeah, that's it. It's hard to change a racetrack dramatically between, heats and features without tearing it up. And, when you're starting at 2, it's great that you're starting at 2, but you're still going to have the sun beating on it, and you're going to have a little bit of bite at the beginning, and then it's going to blacken off. Which normal happens with racetracks. You're not going to have a cushion, because you can't have that for one thing, especially at Oswego. You don't really want it fast because it's really not that wide racing and stuff. But
you mean Larry didn't try to tell you that?
Well, yeah, no, nobody did. My kid has actually been running the outside now, so he's not going to. He already
with the
said
left front tire.
Yeah, he already said he might knock the fence down, whatever. So, but it's steel, and that race car's steel too. So, but no, it's going to be beneficial for everybody.
You've got a bit of a trying week when you speak of that. Tyler Corcoran, who's a very fierce competitor in the sportsman division. We've had him here on Off Track TV, picked up another championship this year up at Can-Am. Your son's out there racing. You're doing the track prep. You're already stressed enough with the track prep. How stressed are you when Tyler gets out there?
I'm not really worried about too much because he's got a head on his shoulders. He pays attention to what's in front of him. He doesn't really drive over his head. He won't, But, yeah, it is stressful at times. You know what I mean? But he's a good driver and all that stuff. And now, of course, we blew our spare motor at Canandaigua, and we actually were going to just have one car. And then Charlie Lord called me up and says, hey, you want my small block? So we're actually running Sportsman and small block now. This weekend at Outlaw and at Dirt Week. So I'm going to be running all around. So he's got his deal. He handles the race car. He's got his friends, my oldest boy, Emily, my wife, and all that, Tom Juno, and a couple other guys that help him out and stuff. So I won't be there till late. Like tomorrow, I told him I probably won't see you till heat time because I got to, work in the Oswego. I'm dedicated there like I was last year to make sure that's right. And he'd rather not have me around. The father-son. It's like
shocked you actually said that.
Yeah. Oh God, no, it's bad. It's bad. But there's great times, but there's bad times, and I've talked to a lot of people, and they're all the same. I talked to Anthony Borrego, and he said, hey, him and his dad used to fight, and his dad was selling his car every other day. I think I've threatened to sell my car every day. So I mean,
no, you threatened to put somebody else in the
seat. That's it. Yeah, that's true. But no, it's all fun. He does his thing, and that's him. He races, and I don't push it. And running a small block, everybody's asking me, is we moving up? And I go, that's totally up to him. He's winning races now, and a 20-year-old kid that's winning races, I'm not sure if he's going to want to move up or stay where he's at.
I don't know about you, Mike, but I feel old because we have literally watched Tyler grow up in front of our eyes.
Yeah, we're old, man. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Think about it, Shane. When we started this, we both had hair and we're thin.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
You say that.
I wasn't part of that group.
Yeah. you bring that up. Yesterday, I was working on Mike Payne's car, Zach's dad, and Emily pulled in the driveway. And he looks at me and he goes, that's not Emily, is it? I said, that's Emily. Who drove her here? I go, she drove. She's driving? The last time I seen her, I think she was picking up Zeus buttons. Yeah, times have definitely changed, So she used to make a lot of money selling Zeus buttons. Now she works at Panera Bread every day. So she loves working, and it's good.
I wonder where she gets that work ethic from.
Yeah, I wonder.
You don't slow down.
No, I don't.
You have two speeds: sleep and go.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'm counting how many Band-Aids he's got on his
Yeah, I
hands
know.
here.
That's it. Yeah, I got 2. Yeah.
See, Dean, that's what happens when you work hard.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, that's why none of us have been.
I was-
I know, right?
That's not a hangnail either. Well, we're
I've
just
had a pen slip out of my hand once.
You didn't get hurt bending over to pick it up, did you? We're just getting things started here on Off Track TV. We're going to pause for the cause here, but when we return, more with Jeremie, Mike, and Dean. We're going to get into the thick of things for Super Dirt Week coming up when we return here to Weedsport.
The 50th Napa Super Dirt Week, October 3rd through the 9th. Racing, music, camping, and more. It's the 50th running of racing's biggest party, October 3rd through the 9th at Oswego Speedway. Don't miss the superstars of dirt car racing go wheel to wheel. Then stay for the live music and entertainment. Get your tickets now at superdirtweek.com or call 844-DIRT-TICKS. Be there.
Make way for the first ever Chevy Silverado ZR2. With Multimatic shocks, rugged 33-inch tires, and front and rear electronic locking differentials.
Dude, this is awesome, but we should get back to work. This good? Perfect.
If you're going to work remote, work remote. Find new workspaces.
See your Central New York Chevy dealers.
Last night.
Right off the thruway, Weedsport Speedway has something for everyone. Live music in the beer garden. Kids Play Zone. Weedsport Speedway's award-winning concessions. Meet the racers. Check out the cars. Get your swag on at the Gearbox. Treat yourself at Sunday's Ice Cream. And of course, the fastest cars and the biggest stars in dirt racing. Super Dirt Week kicks off at Weedsport Speedway on Tuesday, October 4th. Well, Super Dirt Week does kick off right here at the Weedsport Speedway on October 4th. We're going to have the DIRTcar 358 Modifieds, DIRTcar Pro Stocks, and the Sportsman Classic, part of the DIRTcar Sportsman Fall Championship Chase. And that is the kickoff party to Super Dirt Week. But for years, I've always said Super Dirt Week, the unofficial start, usually happens up at the Outlaw 200 up at the Fulton Speedway, and some big races going on up there this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to be there all weekend. And, actually during the 200, I'm going to be actually a fan because the Sportsman Series will be done before that. But we got Pro Stock Series coming for the first time ever at Outlaw. And, it's funny, we had a Pro Stock meeting during the banquet with a rules meeting. And all the teams said, what track do you want to go to? We asked them, and everyone said Fulton Speedway. And I'm excited to see the Pro Stocks there. I think they're going to put on a great show. And then, of course, the Sportsman, the Shootout Sportsman, 70, 80 cars every year there. And then with the 200, it's going to be a fun weekend.
So Tyler's going to obviously be busy up there this weekend with the Sportsman. 358 this weekend with that Charlie Lord motor? Or just, okay.
Yeah, we're going to try. We're going to bring the, I say knife to a gunfight with the 358 against the big block. But, no, he'll try it. He's not expecting to do a lot. We practiced a couple Tuesdays ago. I think last Tuesday maybe it was. He run consistent laps and stuff like that, and so we just get the bugs out of it and just go have some fun.
Outlaw 200, Mike. Listen, we've both been to them enough. We've announced them, but the atmosphere afterwards out in the playground and campground is pretty cool.
Something about a blowhorn?
Huh?
Something about a blowhorn?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I do not recall. That was back in my my youth days. Yeah, no, Outlaw 200. It's always a great time. I love going to that event. And again, you never really know who's going to win because things change so rapidly at that event. At one point, the small blocks are good or the big blocks are good. Then next thing you know, all of a sudden here goes the guy backwards, and whoever's coming has a different combination or different setup, or they've waited to that the end of that 200 to find something. So it's a great event. It's one of the it's a crown jewel obviously in our deal. Everybody looks forward to it. And again, I agree with you, Shane, when you said it's the official kickoff to Super Dirt Week. That's always been everybody comes into town, then they stay there for a couple of days, and then it's, it was, back in the day it was tow your stuff to Syracuse, or now it's, get ready for Oswego. So I think it's neat. And the one thing I always used to love about it when I didn't live in Central New York was the fact that you could come there, and that's where you saw everybody for the first time that you haven't seen all season. Because you know how it is. All of us racers, we got friends from all over the place. All your Canadian friends, everybody, they come in for the Outlaw, and that is where you finally get together for that first big weekend and get to see everybody and have fun. And then you're together all week.
You hit on. Go ahead, Dean.
I was going to say, am I the only one that was at the first one in '86?
Yes.
Yeah. You just hit on something that is huge that we need to address. Is you mentioned our Canadian friends. The border's open.
Finally.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah,
COVID's-
October 1st it's going to be totally open.
Yeah. What are we going to see? We've already started to see the car counts come out already, the entry list for Super Dirt Weekend. As I'm looking at it, there's still drivers that haven't entered. What do you guys think with the Canadian contingent this year? I think we're going to see some more cars coming in.
Yeah, for sure. Some fans and stuff.
I mean, look, if that's a good thing.
Especially the fans.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The fans, that's the one thing that we've missed. You don't, it's so difficult for them. It was so difficult for them to cross the border. Now, now they're good to go. So that's going to be awesome. And that's going to, last year's Super Dirt was great. I loved it. I wrote a whole column on how much fun I had at it, and everybody told me I was an idiot, but that's okay. I was entertained. It was good. I mean, you did the best you could do with the situation, and it was fun. But we were still missing some of our Canadian friends. So to have them come back is going to make it even better. And get us back going in the right direction as we get further and further from all the COVID baloney.
Yeah, our sport is entertainment. Okay,
Yes.
And granted, Jeremy, listen, you did a hell of a job with what you had to work with last year.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
And the racing was still very good.
Yes,
the racing was very good.
And the race was entertaining.
Yes.
And, at the end of the day, yes, there was a lot of bent-up race cars. There was a lot of PO drivers and people. But at the end of the day, Mike, you hit it on the head. It was an entertaining event. And isn't that what everybody's spending their dollar for, to be entertained?
Yeah, right. I mean,
it is entertainment.
Yeah, right. You always, I think we need to, for me, I always try to find the positive in no matter what you do. Like when it comes to racing, I love this sport. This is what I love to do. We all have real jobs. That's what we do first. Unfortunately, Dean, this is your real job. Sorry, buddy. But, the rest of us, we do other stuff. But racing is that time to get away from all that and to go and have fun. And I know we have our good days, we have our bad days, but I always try to say, what was good about today? What did I enjoy? And look, Oswego, we knew, we talked to you on Saturday. We knew what we had, and it was what it was. But you know what? We saw a good race. We saw an entertaining finish. I mean, that's why I go to the races, to see that, and this year I'm looking forward to this year too with it and seeing an entertaining race, an entertaining finish, because back the last time the track, when it was smooth a few years ago prior to COVID, that year that we had, it was an awesome finish, Shepherd, I want to say it was Shepherd and Britain, the one year, I mean, we had some fantastic finishes and we forget that,
right?
That we saw some great races. So for me, I'm looking forward to going back because I know, this last year had its own elements of entertainment. This year it's going to be entertaining for a different reason.
Yeah, for sure. Doing my interview, I entertain you for a while.
Every interview we do, you entertain me, Jeremy.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what everybody says. I actually, Jeff Hockman, I texted him. I say, hey, I forgot to tell you, I'm coming over. He's like, oh, sweet. He's like, be nice. And most people know me. I speak my mind, and it's going to be the same all the time.
I can remember Jeremy used to come in my cell phone store. He goes, yo, you're one of only 3 friends I have, so I thought I'd make a visit.
Yeah. I'm down to 2 now, so that's okay.
Hey, but that's what we appreciate about you. Really.
Yeah.
That's what we appreciate about you, is the fact that you tell it like it is, and you're gonna say it like it is, and and I think that garners respect from everybody. Not everybody's gonna like it, but we need to hear the truth in a world where everybody's trying to be politically correct all the time. So I appreciate that.
Nowadays, it's not. Everybody's so negative about everything, and it's we got to change that somehow, some way. That, and I was talking to somebody at Can-Am. They go, "Why do you do what you do? You get beat up so bad on the internet. I got broad shoulders. If anybody can do it better, show up." I've told people that, and nobody's ever showed up. Right. Somebody's got to do it, and I do the best I can, and sometimes it's wrong. But hey, I don't.
We all live and learn every day too.
Well, that's it. I don't knock somebody at their own job. You know what I mean? It's like I
would enjoy it if you came to my work and just pester me from the back. That would be actually pretty funny.
Yeah, I could do that. I'm not that far away. I'm not that
just
far
come
away.
on over to the high school and you can come.
Be
to
the first
back.
time your students
and
listen to you for a year.
Yeah, heckle me from the back of the room. That would be pretty funny, actually.
Then leave. Then they'll be heckling you for the rest of the day.
Well, that's nothing new.
Yeah, right.
Worse.
Right.
Let's take a reset here and reintroduce everybody. Dean Reynolds, Jeremy Corcoran, And Mike Mallet, along with me, Shane Andrews, having an open forum here tonight on Off
I was going
Track
to say, you
TV.
thought there was going to be a round table, didn't you?
Yeah, you know, well, the table's not too much round.
The only thing
you know.
around here is the three of us.
A diverse group of motorsports enthusiasts here tonight. How about that? Dean, next week was Super Dirt Week. The competition's a little bit different this year as we're running, and correct me if I'm wrong, we're running big blocks and the Sportsman together on nights. And we're running the 358s and the Pro Stocks together on different nights to obviously keep as less traffic on the track, give everybody a little breathing room and time to work on the speedway. That format is very appealing to me from a race fan standpoint, that you get to see two premier divisions on one night without maybe having to be there for a long time.
It all started with Friday. Friday Night Lights was just too long, and it wasn't anything anyone was doing. It's just when you have almost 300 cars in the pits and they're all going to be out on that track on Friday night, how many heat races are you going to run? And you just couldn't get that show. We started at 7. We're always going past midnight. And as I mentioned earlier, we talked to Weedsport and Brewerton about moving up the satellite events to, Tuesday and Wednesday. And now, like you said, Thursday now, Thursday Night Thunder is going to be their 358s and the Pro Stocks. And then Friday Night Lights would be the big blocks and the Sportsman. But when I tell people, I go, it's Thursday, Saturday, Friday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's so each division has 2 days off during the 5 days. So Wednesday, everyone goes on the track. We're going to bring the Pro Stocks out first and hopefully get the seal on that track that you're going to hope for. And, everyone's going to get their laps on Wednesday, but then we break it up after that. And I tell you, a lot of teams are really, really looking forward to it. Even the teams that are running both classes, because they don't have to prep both cars for that one day. Now they can prep this one, prep that one. The only time we have a little crossover is the past champions race that's going to be on Thursday night.
Yeah, talk about that. I'm excited about that, to see who's gonna be in it. We saw like Vic Coffey's coming out. He's going to race Kenny Brightbill. Like that to me that's pretty awesome. I haven't seen those guys in a car in a long time.
That is, to be able to, like you said, Mike, we're going to see Tim Fuller, Vic Coffey. We're going to see Stuart Friesen, Matt Shepard, Matt Williamson, Larry White, Brett Hearn, all on the same track, the past champions. And Kenny Brightbill, I really hope that man qualifies and stays and qualifies for the 200.
I've actually talked to Kenny about 6 times in the last 4 days, and he's going to run the hot laps on Wednesday, and if he feels comfortable, he's going to register and run the rest of the week.
What I think is neat about this, we have a lot of young guys that work for us on Dirt Track Digest. They never got to see some of those guys race, so they've heard about Kenny Brightbill. They were little kids when Vic was racing, so it's going to be kind of neat to see the younger, I shouldn't call them kids anymore because they're in their 20s, but to me they're kids, because that's when they started with us. But I think it's going to be neat for them to see, Kenny Brightbill and those guys, because they never had a chance really to watch them race other than maybe the occasional when they were real little on TV or whatever.
Yeah, but you know how fast times change, and I talked to Tim Fuller, actually it was 2 days ago, because I knew Marcichelli was going to do the retro.
That's awesome. By the way, that was
I go to Tim Fuller, how you feel that you're a retro?
Yeah, that was the
You can guess how Tim Fuller answered.
Yeah, I know. That was the first Super Dirt Week I covered as a media member. Was that when Tim Fuller won in that car? When I saw that car, I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah. Yep, that was my first year as a media member.
But it's cool. Yeah.
Yep.
We're going to see a lot of retro cars at Super Dirt Week. We'll have more information on that as we get closer to the 50th edition. We've got to step aside for just a moment. When we return, I'm going to throw these guys some rapid questions, and we'll see how they answer, and we'll have a little debate about some things when we return right here to Off Track TV.
The 50th Napa Super Dirt Week, October 3rd through the 9th. Racing, music, camping, and more. It's the 50th running of racing's biggest party, October 3rd through the 9th at Oswego Speedway. Don't miss the superstars of dirt car racing go wheel to wheel. Then stay for the live music and entertainment. Get your tickets now at superdirtweek.com or call 844-DIRT-TICKS. Be there.
Make way for the first ever Chevy Silverado ZR2. With Multimatic shocks, rugged 33-inch tires, and front and rear electronic locking differentials.
Dude, this is awesome, but we should get back to work. This good? Perfect.
If you're going to work remote, work remote. Find new workspaces.
See your Central New York Chevy dealers.
Last night?
Right off the thruway, Weedsport Speedway has something for everyone. Live music in the beer garden. Kids Play Zone. Weedsport Speedway's award-winning concessions. Meet the racers. Check out the cars. Get your swag on at the Gearbox. Treat yourself at Sunday's Ice Cream. And of course, the fastest cars and the biggest stars in dirt racing. Super Dirt Week kicks off at Weedsport Speedway on Tuesday, October 4th. Welcome back to Off Track TV. Want to remind everybody our next show will be Thursday, October 13th, 8 p.m. right here on Facebook Live. We hope everybody will join us. So now, want to throw some rapid questions out to these guys because all three of them have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience in motorsports and are well respected in the industry and the positions that they have. So, gentlemen, if you're ready, I'm going to just ask you, and I just want you to throw out your answer.
Go Vikings.
Yeah, go Vikings. Overall state of modified racing, how would you rate it?
I'm going to say strong, because in this day and age where the economy is not as good as we would like it, and the cost of living and everything else, and yet you still see the car counts that are going. Now, yes, our car counts down and some tracks are struggling, yes, but you said we're entertainment, and this means people are spending extra dollars to do this entertainment, and yet we still have enough out there as far as cars and fans to keep it afloat. Now, should we relax and think everything's okay? No. But I do think the overall state of racing is strong because it could be much worse.
Absolutely. Like Randy at Bicknell's, I think they had a record year last year, the year before, selling cars. You know what I mean? So it's the cars are selling well. The car count's good, all that stuff. And I'm glad you brought that up. Not that this has to do with that, but people, a lot of people complain about dust in racetracks now. There's too dusty. And me as owning race cars, building race cars, prepping tracks and all that, kind of unique guy as far as been around all that, promoting tracks. And back, say 20 years ago, you used to have 800 horsepower in a big block. You didn't get 800 horsepower to the racetrack. Now with the shock package, the coilovers, the different bodies that we have on these cars, you're getting close 750 to 800, whatever you have, to the racetrack. So when you do that, it picks the dust up. You know what I'm saying? So in the way the bodies are built, they throw it in the air. You know what I mean? So it's not a combination of lack of effort on any track prep guy out there. We all do our best. Some nights are good, some nights are bad. We get blasted. But it's a lot to do with the way the car's handling now. You know what I mean? There's different things that people don't, as a fan, you don't know that. But as someone like Dean or Mike's been around it enough, he can tell that a car's, locked down to the track more than not. A racetrack will go from having bite to grip, and then once it starts grip, it gets called rubbered up. And rubbered up is bumper tag. You're locked down and you're right around a circle. And you don't want to see that because you burn 3, sometimes 4 tires off a car. And they're $240 a piece now.
Yeah.
So, but that's, in saying that, car count is good. Sportsman car count is good. Like you said, there'll be 70, 80 cars.
We had 67 at Albany Saratoga
right,
last week.
Yeah, 67 cars. Right.
Yeah, tomorrow Fulton will have 78.
Yeah.
I'm not saying every track is, some tracks are struggling and it could be a situation that they're having that's why they're struggling. But, I sit back and I say, the sport is doing good. Let's just stay focused and see what we can do to keep the momentum going.
Right.
And so we don't go the other way.
Right, absolutely.
Yep.
Uh-oh. I'm going the other way with it, unfortunately, and I agree with what you guys are saying, but for me, what scares me is the amount of racetracks I've seen for sale or closing. You don't expect a Grandview Speedway to be sold. That's just, that popped up, and everybody's like, what? Grandview? How can you sell Grandview? I mean, that's a track that you perceive to be doing well. Within, about 8 hours of our area, there is 8 to 10 tracks either for sale or being sold or going into some other opportunity. You got tracks down south closing. You got tracks all over. I mean, modified racing I think is healthy. There's some things I think we all need to do better. Obviously we have 2 different series here, and we are on 2 different rules packages. And to me, You know, I'm not faulting anyone on that. That's just how it's developed. But I would like to see more of a unified rule system between the two to bring everybody back together again. You know, I get that there's going to be different tires and things like that, but we have
that's never
motor
gonna
rules
change.
and we got body rules. We got all these other things. And to me, you know, we're fragmenting ourselves a little bit. You know, I think we need to get everybody back closer, resembling the same thing. Now, I'm not saying get rid of sail panels. Okay, that's not what I'm saying because I love sail panels. But you know what I'm saying? Like get everybody kind of back on a more similar rules package, and I think that will bring back some of the health. I mean, we've been the car counts have been great here at the end of the season shows.
Right.
But what I saw during the season was the season started out strong, and then as things started to progress, you started to see those car counts drop as guys started running out of money and all that with just the cost of everything going up. So now the end of the season, everybody's kind of rallying, regrouping, and I'm glad. I love seeing big car counts at the end of the season, but my fear is that the long term, you know, we got to bring some costs down and find some ways to keep guys racing all year. You know, not just have that, you know, have them strong at the beginning and drop. And we got to find a way to get fans to go back to some of these tracks. You know, and get younger fans in. You know, as a teacher, I see it every day. You know, kids aren't necessarily interested in racing. You know, I talked about this a couple days ago on
There are
another
no more
podcast.
gearheads.
Right here.
Right,
This is
right.
what's
That's
doing
it.
it.
Right.
I
So-
sold what is a
Yeah.
big problem for 11 years.
Yeah. So that's kind of some of the things we need to talk about as a sport. Like, what do we got to do to get these youngsters? And I think that's a cross-the-board problem for all of us. I mean, yeah, the car counts are healthy, all that, but our fans are getting older. We're getting older. I mean, we're some of the younger guys in this, and I'm in my 40s, you know, that cover racing. So we need to figure out how to let's get that next generation involved and start getting them to the track and keep our sport growing instead of seeing it kind of shrivel as people get older and can't go anymore.
And it's not even in this. It's not in dirt motorsports.
It's across the board.
My partner, Robbie O'Connor, he owns Syracuse Nationals.
Yeah.
He's the older gentlemen that are bringing their cars and ladies that are bringing their cars and their families and their kids. I don't want to say this wrong, but they're dying off. You know what I mean? So, and the younger ones, like Tyler, my son, he's got no interest in a 69 Camaro. You know, I would sell his cars and buy a nice 69 Camaro right now. You know what I mean? That's me. But him, what's a 69 Camaro? What's you know what I mean? That's
well,
the
entertainment
generation.
is so diverse in this world
Oh,
now.
yeah.
I mean, you know, we're talking about the new World of Outlaw game that just came out on PlayStation and you know, on Xbox, and unfortunately, some of that's going to keep somebody home because they're going to be playing it.
On that note, how do we continue to get to that younger generation and to grow that fan base? Which leads me to this question. Is live streaming good or bad for the sport to do
Oh
that?
boy!
Want me to start with this one? Look, I think like everything, even with social media, you got to look at I put live streaming in that kind of that social media category too, where it's internet based. All right. And I think there's always positives and there's always going to be negatives to what we're doing. You know, I can list and see here, you know, we've been fortunate. You know, I've worked for every company or been around every company this season. You know, I did some shows on Dirt Vision. Obviously Dirt Track Digest TV. I did some flow races with our contracts. So we've had access to see what's going on at all these tracks, you know, and you can see the numbers and you can see, okay, like this place is really healthy. The crowd's huge and the streaming numbers are good, you know, so that's a good thing, you know, but that doesn't work everywhere necessarily. You know what I mean? So for what works, you can't put it in a box and say what works at this track is going to work at that track because they're all different. You know, the clientele, watching the clientele at the track, the money in the area, like a wealthy area is going to do better because there's more people that can afford to buy it, you know, versus an area where, you know, it's an economic downturn. You know, it's going to be tougher for them to afford it. So for me, I kind of lump streaming and social media all together, and I think that there are very much a bunch of positives, and as we all know, there's a very much a bunch of negatives that affect crowds and fans and all of that. You know, and the big thing with the kids is, I mean, kids' attention span, well, how long is a Snapchat video? Like 10 seconds or 20 seconds? You know, that's kind of what you're trying to struggle with. How do I keep kids? You're never going to get kids for 3 hours at a racetrack. That is just, that day and age,
it's
over.
2.5.
Yeah,
That's it.
right.
But there's a
But
reason why
that's-
all the major sports are 2.5 to 3 hours.
Yeah, right.
That's
right.
it.
There's a reason why.
That's
When
it. That's where we're at. And we have to be entertainment and find other ways to entertain. Like, we've done things in racing the same way for 50 years. Like, you know, you and I, we announce, we talk, we go there, we play some music once in a while, and then, you know, we talk about the cars on the track. You know, and we've done it the same way. I haven't changed since I started, you know, back in 2005. I've done the same thing. And I think we all need to look at ourselves and say, what do they do at other sports that kids like that we're not doing?
Right.
You know, and what can we do to get that kind of element into what we do? It's never going to be the same. Let's be fair. We're never going to be the same as stick and ball sports, none of that. But we have to find a way to say, all right, this sport really interests kids. Kids love it. What are they doing different that we're not doing?
Right.
Well, with the streaming, you got to look at it that you got to make your program and your entertainment on that stream where people would want to go next week live. That's what you got to focus on. Don't utilize your streaming as a money subsidiary for your small crowds. No, give a reason for fans to come live. I say this story a lot. Me and Dave Farney last year during between short track and World Finals down at Charlotte, we went to a Panthers game. It was Panthers against Jaguars. We don't care about any of the two teams, but we paid $120 to go watch the game. Why? Because it's exciting on TV.
Yep.
So if you focus on making your product exciting, people will start coming to the track, and that's what you got to focus on.
Jeremy, you've worn many hats over the years. You listed off a bunch of them, and one of them was track promoter at Land of Legends Raceway, and now out at Orange County Fair Speedway. From a promoter's perspective, good, bad, ugly from the streaming portion.
Yes.
You had to ask me that. I got to watch it because Dirt Track Digest sponsors my son's race car. So,
You know what? You can
This
say-
is one of those answers where you can say, I plead the fifth.
And you know how the sponsorship developed. He tipped Lori at the bar so much.
Right. No, I mean, there is good things about it, and there's bad things about it. You know, it's he nailed it. There's good and bad. I mean, I don't want to pick out one or the other right now, but I mean, as long as you brought it up, you know, we're going to do Eastern States Weekend is going to be on Dirt Track Digest Live this year. So we deal, you know, teamed up with Mike and his production and all that. So.
I'm not going to do any of the work, though, because I'm just going to work with Tim Pitts. So
yeah, he's going to be announcing it, too. So and Tim's there. So, you know, we're gonna try that. Me and Chris talked about changing some things, and we did. And we went with them, and we're going to try it. We had our own down there, and we just wanted to try something different. So we did one night. It worked out very well. So that's kind of why we're going to do it again this year. You know, so, but like he said, and there's good and bad about it.
Well, and while we're on the topic, Orange County Fair Speedway, Eastern States Weekend, one of the Triple Crown races in my
love
books
Eastern
for,
States.
for modified racing.
Really. Nothing against Super Dirt Week, and I love Super Dirt Week, but Eastern States will always be my that's my modified race. I don't know why. Dean, you know, you grew up there.
My first one was at 68.
Yeah, right. So, but you know, there's just something about I love Eastern States. I love the feeling.
Well, me and you grew up down there.
Yeah,
too.
right.
That's our home track.
Yeah,
exactly. So, you know, that's going to be a good weekend. You know, me just, you know, I've been down there the last 2 years just prepping the racetrack, and then I took over promoting halfway through the year, and it's been fun. You know, great. Chris Larson, great guy to work for. Lets me do whatever I want. You know, I talk to him very, very seldom. He's got a huge company in Hallmar. He just likes having that racetrack to do things, to have fun with, and he pays phenomenal on his purses and all that. Can
you guarantee me a race like last year with Stu and Shepard back and forth like 28 times or something like that? The leads changed in that race. It was awesome.
Well, you got to talk to them, not me.
Oh man, that was. I left there. I love when you leave a racetrack and you can't stop talking about it. Like I'm on the phone on my way home, driving home, and I'm calling like, "Did you guys watch? Did you see that race?" Like, you know, you're pumped. Like it was so good, and I love seeing the heavyweights fight like that. Like when you know they're both on their game, and you don't know which one of them is going to come out on top. You know, there's some races where one of them's off, and you just kind of you have that feeling. But when you got them both on their A game. And you don't know who's going to come out. That to me is, it's awesome.
Yeah. Gentlemen, before we go, I've got one final question. I'm going to put everybody on the spot, including myself, before we say goodnight, before we go to Super Dirt Week. I want to know your thoughts. Who's going to win the 200?
Come on. Are we doing odds here? Because it's like you're negative money if you're betting Shepard. I can tell you that because Shepard, I mean, how do you pick against Matt Shepard at this point right now? I mean, Matt has been phenomenal. Seems like he's hitting his stride here at the right time of the year. You know, normally I'd say Stuart Friesen, but they've struggled a little bit with some motor woes and things like that. So I don't know if they're behind or not. I mean, you know, but they had their struggles there last weekend at Fonda. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that's righted. You know, Matty Williamson, he's been a little off this year too. So you look at who's hot coming in. Yeah. You know, and Shepard's been the guy, but that usually means he's probably not going to win because as soon as you say he's going to win, that you know, exactly. like the odds-on favorite in racing usually something happens. But that, I mean, for me. Hands down, that's probably, to me, who you have to say is the favorite, and then there's everybody else right now.
Jeremy?
Right. I really don't know.
Tyler Corcoran.
Yeah. Hey, I'd be happy if we make both shows.
Well, you got a guaranteed spot in the sports.
Well,
so you're good there.
You're in. All right. All right, keep it in the trailer. Give me my money.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm going to say Tim Fuller. Tim Fuller's been a friend of mine for years. and I'm just going to go with him. You know,
I got to tell you,
can't
that'd be
think
a
of
fun
anybody else.
interview afterwards.
Oh, I bet you would be.
I love
yeah.
Tim Fuller.
Almost like one of mine.
Yeah, I love a Tim Fuller interview. He's good too. He's good.
I took him on a golf cart ride after he won at Bridgeport. You want to talk about happy?
Yeah.
That's
by
only
the way,
10,000.
you do say golf. I am taking one day off. I'm going to golf in the golf tournament. The family.
Monday.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Me, Tyler, my oldest boy, Michael, Lori, and one of Tyler's buddies.
Nice.
So we're going to have fun that day.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
I'll be to work after that.
I'll dig up the track for you.
There you
just
go,
in case
yeah.
something to do.
Actually, you know, now you say the track, I want to thank Larry Fink, my brother-in-law. He's helped me with the track. He helped me last year, him and Clayton. Clayton's not up here this year. We worked last year, I don't know, I went to bed maybe 1 hour a day. And same with him. He was there right there helping. He's been there helping now. He's helping Jeff move some stuff. But if I need something, he's there to help. You know what I mean? So that I got to thank him for that. And, you know, John and Larry and Laura supplying the equipment for all this deal. And Jeff Hockman and Dean and everybody to, you know, let's just have a great race. You
Yes,
know what I mean?
absolutely.
Let's a safe race. And
Absolutely.
let's have fun. And, you know, that's all.
Dean?
In my position, I got to root for an entertaining race. You know that. Come on. I will say one thing. I don't think there'll be one person upset because the place owes them if Peter Britton won.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that's the first thing.
Oh,
that came
yeah,
to
that's
mind.
not a bad pick. I like
Yeah,
that.
it's
Like,
not
yeah.
a pick. It's actually I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
think.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you know
this
what?
is sentimental after
Yeah.
a couple
Yeah.
years ago when he got
yeah.
passed on the last lap.
Yep. So
And he's a great guy. I mean,
Yes.
he is one of my favorite guys to chat with. And
But
it's-
if I was a betting man, which I might be on the side every now and then, it's going to
Yeah.
be Matt Shepard. But,
Yeah.
but that's what makes this race unique. It's Matt against the field. It's almost like Tiger Woods back in the day.
Yeah.
You got the field or you want to take Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, you stole my thunder because I agree with you. If there's anybody that is owed one at Oswego, it is the Batman, Peter Britton, in the 21.
Is that the Thunder from Down Under
The
that he
Thunder
stole?
from Down Under. But I also have a sentimental pick that I think would be pretty cool to see to win at Oswego, and he's been fast up there in the 358s in the past, and that's Billy Decker. I think, and to be honest with you, it really doesn't matter who wins the race to me, as long as, like you guys said, it's an
Yeah, good race.
entertaining
race.
race.
Yep.
And
Something
that's what
people
we
will
want.
talk about for
Absolutely.
a long time, other than other reasons. I
That's
just
right.
Yeah.
That's-
I'm putting my full trust in this.
Yes, yeah.
I think we all
No
yeah.
pressure, buddy. No
Point
pressure.
at me. Point at me. It's okay. I got broad shoulders.
I got my full confidence though in Jeremy.
Nah,
We've talked a lot, and I think, I always have a good gut feeling, and I about things, and I got a good gut feeling that we're gonna sit back on Sunday, crack open a beer, and say, you know what, that was pretty freaking cool.
Well, I look forward to that opportunity doing that with all three of you. And gentlemen, we've got to sign off. It has been a great show. Thanks for coming in tonight. Thanks for taking time out of your schedules and joining us. Look forward to having all of you back with us next time we can get together like this. So thank you. Good luck, Super Dirt Week. Have a safe event. All three of you, please. Be safe, have a good time, and thank you for all you do.
Thanks, Shane.
Our next show, like I said, Thursday, October 13th, right here at 8 p.m., Facebook Live. We will be back, and we'll have more action and more news and all the insights to talk about right here on Off Track TV Live. For the guys behind the scenes, Brett Moses, Art Rourke, and Don Boshin, thank you very much, guys, for making us look and sound good. For our panelists here tonight, thanks again for coming in. My name is The Voice, Shane Andrews, saying thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on Off Track TV.